What's going on, guys? We are back with another video, and today I'm bringing you chapter 219 of The Beginning After the End. Let's get to it. We pick up with Sylvie meditating in her room. Looks more like she's still absorbing the darkness from Uto's horns. We then see two women saying the training between Arthur and the five elders is very light today as their tea rumbles from the shockwaves. The chapter then shifts gears to Bun and Kathleen training. Bun breaks the ice, trapping his foot by creating a splint in the earth, but Kathleen uses ice to dodge it. We then transition to Arthur and Ellie trash talking each other, with Ellie saying Arthur is not putting in any of that work today, he's getting his ass beat. And his response is a typical big brother: if you can do better, then just step in the ring. Ellie denies the request and tells Camus to knock Arthur out, but before everyone can leave, Camus tells Arthur he has something to show him, so throw a punch. Arthur reluctantly agrees and throws an augmented punch, the same kind he used against his ox. As Arthur throws the punch, Camus effortlessly blocks it. Arthur explains the feeling of his fist moving through tar, which is pretty crazy to say the least. Camus tells Arthur he's a smart boy and to figure out what he did to block the attack. Arthur then goes on to try multiple times to hit Camus, but to no avail. Arthur then says, according to mana theory, when like elements collide, they can weaken or even cancel each other out, depending on the mana output. He goes on to say Camus used air pressure, so basically Camus created a vacuum and raised the pressure in his palms to slow Arthur's fist down. Camus then says the reason Arthur invited everyone to train was to immerse himself in each element and to craft his own style. Camus then goes on to say, but the problem is, Arthur's style is more towards offense. Example, Arthur only uses wind magic for blades or tornadoes and only thinks of earth magic as spikes or walls, but in order for him to master these affinities means knowing the subtleties of their nature. He then directs Arthur's attention to Bun and Kathleen's battle, saying masters in earth magic can redirect the force of an opponent's attack into the ground. Doing so accurately negates nearly all of an attacker's physical assault. He finishes his speech by saying, Arthur's utilization of elements is good, great even. However, he fights like he's always in 1v1s. He says Arthur shapes his spells and attacks around either hurting or enhancing himself to dodge his opponents, which makes him predictable. The chapter then shifts gears to Arthur talking to Sylvie. Arthur asks has there been any problems extracting the magic from the horns. Sylvie says everything is going smoothly. Arthur wishes he could say the same and hopes tonight he makes some progress. We then see Arthur trying to absorb the mana in the horns. Apparently Uto's horns also contain some of his memories. We then get a small flashback of three figures: Uto, a priest, and someone named Carnel Valet. As it turns out, Uto was connected to the markings Arthur experienced back in Cyrus Academy. The man Valet earned his first mark for an act of valor, and the second one he unlocked through mastery of the initial mark. Arthur could feel Uto's emotions during the flashback and says he felt disappointed both marks on Valet's back was geared more towards defense as opposed to offense. Arthur is then violently woken up by the Black Horn, saying it siphoned all of his mana again, and it's going to be damn near impossible to enter the White Core stage if it keeps draining all his magic like this. As the chapter comes to a fucking end. Damn, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, this chapter was fucking fire. Like, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, this chapter was fire. We got a lot of intel on the markings. So, you guys remember back in Cyrus Academy when Arthur was fighting that one guy with the markings? I think it was Vike's younger brother. And Vike's younger brother had these similar markings on his back, enhancing his magical power and boosting his strength and speed. So, coming to find out that Uto was a very big part of that is incredible. I can't wait to see what the next chapter drops. Like, comment, subscribe, be fucking dynamic. I love you, and I'll see you guys in chapter 220. Peace.